Hello there, this is Midday News on CoreTV News with Nifemi Oguntoye. The Nigeria's military authorities say ground troops are now fully in control of Maiduguri and Kodunga after an all-night battle with insurgents. Defense headquarters say through its Twitter feed the troops inflicted heavy casualty on Boko Haram members on the outskirts of the capital city. It also admitted that it lost some soldiers in the battle that stretched into the early hours of Monday. The military added that ground and area patrol are on to keep the insurgents at bay. Members of the local vigilante, which backed the troops in the battle, are also weeding out insurgents who infiltrated the city. The chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Atahiru Jege, has charged all 37 resident electoral commissioners to remain focused on ensuring credible February polls. He said this shortly before holding a closed-door meeting with the electoral commissioners in Abuja. Jega implored them not to lose focus in the face of attempts by politicians to drag the commission into disrepute.
I have said consistently what we need to do is to remain focused and to busy ourselves in terms of ensuring that the 2015 general elections are remarkably much better than the 2011 general elections. And we have to continue to ensure that whatever we do, we remain impartial and non-partisan, and that we create a level playing field for all parties, all candidates, and all contestants. We need to reassure Nigerians that we are ready to conduct free, fair, credible, and peaceful elections in the 2015 general elections. But we also need to reassure ourselves that indeed we are ready for the business ahead of us.
The European Union plans to deploy 90 election observers to monitor next month's elections in Nigeria. It will, however, not send any team to observe voting in the northeast due to security concerns. The head of EU's election observation mission in Nigeria, Santiago Axela, disclosed this at a meeting with the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Muhammadu Buhari, in Abuja. The EU team held a closed-door meeting with the leadership of APC's Presidential Campaign Council before briefing journalists on the outcome.
It's a big mission. It's a mission that starts in November and it will be in place until mid-April. Then it's not only the problem what happens on the electoral day, it's what happened during all this big space of time. How the primaries has been done, how is respected the law, how respected, I will say, the propaganda, the media, and also afterwards any possible claim after elections. And that is our role, not just to follow up the day of election. It will be impossible in a country so big with so many inhabitants as has Nigeria to cover everything. And I can tell you that we are the mission more important, the biggest mission that there is in all the world for this election and for any other election. And for the Northeast, of course, we can't be there for security reasons, obvious security reasons. But anyhow, we have people deployed very close to the Northeast, and we have contacts there on this area, and then we try to have the better information as we can have on the Northeast. But the present situation don't allow us to go to the Northeast.
They have been covering other countries' elections, although not exactly similar to our own country. They are very experienced people. They are qualified to come for this supervision. And as you observe, they cannot cover all the 120 or 150,000 polling units, but they have placed people in strategic places to advise them.
As controversy trails the 2015 general election, the proposal by the National Security Advisor Sambo Dasuki on the shift of the February polls, the APC has lent its voice to the call by the American government that on no account must the February date of the polls be shifted. The National Publicity Secretary of the nation's leading opposition party, Lai Mohammed, met with senior journalists in Lagos, where he made known point blank that the party is standing by the February date of the elections.
Bethlehem had been raised last weekend in London. The innocent-looking Nigerian's national security advisor, Sambo Dasuki, had a Chatham House lecture drop the bombshell which he claimed was a mere proposal.
Of shifting this thing and doing it when everybody has a time. Because it doesn't cost you anything, it's still within the law and it is safer for all of us. So that is what we are encouraging.
This, however, did not ring the right chords in the ears of many. First, the American government, which came visiting to advise against tampering with the timetable of the elections.
Absolutely critical that these elections be conducted peacefully, that they are credible, transparent, accountable, so that the people of Nigeria can have faith and the world can have faith in the government that flows from it.
Then the APC, whose National Publicity Secretary, Lai Mohammed, met with senior journalists in Lagos on Monday. He did not waste time to articulate the party's position on the issue.
Our party, the All Progressives Congress, APC, strongly rejected the call by the National Security Advisor, Colonel Sambo Dasuki, for the postponement of next month's general elections, ostensibly to give more time to INEC to distribute the permanent voters' cards. In spite of this, we have noted with dismay that the Jonathan administration has continued to pursue the plot to shift the elections.
So where lies the worry for the APC if the electoral body had indicated its readiness to stand by the February 2015 date?
When President Goodluck Jonathan met with the U.S. Secretary of State, John Kerry, on Sunday here in Lagos, the president said he told a visiting U.S. top diplomat that the May 29th handover date is sacrosanct. We say this is not reassuring enough, and that for us, the February 14th and 20th dates for the elections are sacrosanct as the handover date of May 29th, 2015.
All possible reasons, including the ongoing insurgency in the northeast and growing frustration over collection of permanent voters' cards, and not in the words of APC national spokesman, even though to warrant the postponement of the elections.
We are aware of the limitless capacity of the PDP and the administration for anti-democratic and desperate actions in pursuit of selfish motives that have nothing to do with the interests of the good people of Nigeria. We are aware of the clandestine moves, including reaching out to various interest groups and hiring talking heads to make the television rounds being made by this administration to get the elections shifted. The Jonathan administration's apologies are hiding under the facade that millions of Nigerians will be disenfranchised if the elections should proceed as scheduled. Again, they are using the terrorist attacks in some parts of the north to advance their election shift argument. We sincerely hope that the recent escalation of the Boko Haram attacks and the siege of Maiduguri on Sunday, a day after President Jonathan's campaign in the city, are not connected to this campaign.
So how really ready is APC for the coups under the present situation?
APC is ready for the elections, and under no circumstance will we accept a postponement. For us, February 14th and 20th are sacrosanct, as May 29th the handover date. The government has had 4 whole years to prepare for this election, and the dates for these elections were announced over a year ago. Therefore, there's no excuse, there's no going back now.
The Dasuki Chatman House bombshell in Lagos may have led many Nigerians pondering over where the hands of the clerk are swinging ahead elections.
Well, the PDP presidential campaign rally on Monday hits Kwara State, where President Goodluck Jonathan promised residents of the state and the nation's youth freedom from autocratic leaders, in addition to more dividends of democracy, if voted in for another term. The PDP also canvassed for votes for the party's governorship candidate in the state, Samuel Ajiboya. Rashid has the details.
In continuation of his quest for another term in office, President Goodluck Jonathan received a rousing welcome from the mammoth crowd amidst pomp and ceremony. The coordinator of the Goodluck campaign team in Kwara, Dele Belgore, opened the floodlights of comment, but not without taking a swipe at the APC-led government in the state.
Kwara State is a state with two governors. One who is merely occupying the seat and has no powers. One who has no constitutional powers but exercises all the powers. That is the state in which Kwara State is. It's the state in which the commonwealth of very many have been monopolized and enjoyed by a few.
The PDP chieftains on the campaign entourage appear to know for sure that Kwara State is a big battleground for the party. Obviously, the rivalry between the PDP and the APC in the state remains at a hiatus level. Thus, they call on the people of Kwara to massively vote for Jonathan.
We do not want some old people with fossilized ideas to come and ask for your vote to be president of Nigeria. And we will not allow anybody to rig us out. Those who are pretending to be advocating a free vote are indeed using a smoke screen. Behind the scene, they want to rig election.
Jonathan, who drew his speech from the campaign mantra of the Kwara PDP, simply promised freedom and more dividends of democracy to the people.
We want to work with you to make sure that Nigerians are free citizens. We don't encourage a situation where leaders will intimidate the followers, where people will be living as if they are in a zoo and the lions and the leopards are moving freely. And the lambs and the doves have to go into hiding. No, that is not a country. Nigeria is not a zoological garden. Nigeria is not a forest. Nigeria is not a country that will be governed by laws and conventions.
As presidential campaigns move from state to state with candidates presenting their manifesto, the day of decision beckons where Nigerians will have the chance to vote for the candidates of their choice. But before that day, it is no more news and no doubt that serious canvassing politics is actually going on both sides of the political divide. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ilorin.
All Progressives Congress has revealed plans to do away with all forms of dichotomy in all aspects and sectors in the country. The party's vice presidential candidate Yemi Osinbajo made this known at an interactive discuss with a cross-section of Nigerian youths organized by an affiliated political group, ACT Now. The country's leading opposition party emphasized on promoting national unity as well as tackling the problems of policy implementation. Basi Aye has more from Osinbajo's interface with Nigerian youths.
This is a meeting with APC youths that was organized by ACT Now, a political group affiliated with Nigeria's leading opposition party. The group says its membership across the country has a mandate to contribute about 10 million votes to the party's presidential candidate, Muhammadu Buhari. It was a gathering which provided another platform for the opposition to sell its manifesto to the people, especially young Nigerians. And that is exactly what its vice presidential candidate did, with focus on reforms in all sectors, including the public sector.
We're looking at the current reforms, even the current reforms. It really comes down to even implementing current reforms. For us, downsizing and right-sizing isn't priority at all. That's not priority. Because really we believe that you can train public servants well. There are those who say that there are too many, but we believe that the size of the public service is not even as important as what they are able to do and whether you deploy them correctly.
He also addressed the issue of election rigging and manipulation.
One of the key things that we find in any successful election is that the people themselves must be there at the polling booth, count the votes, record the figures. If the figures are being manipulated at the collation centers, that's a different issue. That's up to the agents of the parties. But the most important point is at the polling booth. And when people want a change, when people want their own, when they want to deliver themselves, they remain there. And that's the kind of thing we're saying to our people. That's the kind of thing we're saying to voters. That remain at the polling booth, make sure your votes are counted, make sure your votes count.
Political campaigns are indeed heating up, with parties jostling for recognition. But analysts maintain that power truly rests with the people in the end. Basia CoreTV News, Abuja.
On to midday news on CoreTV News. We'll take a break now and we'll be back with more stories. Don't go away.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digi360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
Welcome back. You can also get all of our top stories on any of our social media platforms. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/CoreTV News, and our Twitter handle is at CoreTV News NG. We'll also stream live on YouTube. It's youtube.com/CoreTV, leave a space, and news. Plateau State Governor Jonah Jang has called on for the rejection of rotation of power between the North and the South. He made the call against the backdrop of the tension surrounding the issue of power rotation in the country as the nation marches towards the February general elections. The report is presented from our studios.
Many see it as a gentleman agreement, though not enshrined in the nation's constitution. Rotation of power has become a policy, especially within the ruling party. While the opinion of people on the issue differ, a school of thought says the issue of power rotation is a major factor behind the increase in violence towards the general elections. With this at the back of his mind, Plateau State Governor Jonah Jang says the issue of power rotation should be stopped to broaden access for other ethnic groups to reach the top positions in Nigeria.
And I want to honestly advocate that even at the national level, this idea of North-South presidency should stop. Whoever is good enough to rule Nigeria, Nigerians should give such a one a backing, wherever he comes from. When we start talking of North-South, there are some areas in the South that may never get it. There are some areas in the North that may never get it. So, wherever you come from, as long as you are a Nigerian, if Nigerians believe you are good, you are able to deliver, you are able to make Nigeria great, irrespective of where you come from, irrespective of what religion you are, you should become the president of this great country.
Governor Jang, while speaking at a women empowerment at a rally put together by his wife, says many elder statesmen in the state have not lived up to their responsibilities.
There are people who are bent on dividing Plateau State, trying to bring tribal sentiments, trying to bring all kinds of sentiments. People who should stand and unite Plateau State are the people who are trying to divide Plateau State. And we must say no to such divisive tendencies. We in Plateau State are one people, and will always choose the best. Who will give Plateau State the best, no matter where such a one comes from.
He added that people should be able to attain any position irrespective of tribe, religion, or creed.
What God has done on the plateau this time, and what God is doing, is to break that barrier of tribal interest, but whoever the people of Plateau State believes can govern Plateau State will support such a one, which is what the PDP did during the primaries, and Plateau State will now all do on 28th of February 2015.
The stance of the governor, though, is one that is going against the grain, with many dissatisfied with him for supporting the emergence of a candidate from a zone as governor of the state. How this plays out will be known in a few weeks' time at the polls.
That wraps it this hour on CoreTV News. Do join us again at the top of the hour for more stars. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. Thanks for being there.